Greetings and welcome to St.Vincent and the Grenadines Mind Gym. And the reason why I am speaking on this subject is because many people in my country normally ask me if I still go to the gym, if I still exercise, and so on. And I say to them, yes, I do, but mostly at home. And sometimes they ask me if I still, do personal training and so on. So most likely, when people think about getting their bodies in shape and so on, those who really know me, they think about me, okay? And the reason why that is so because of the love that I have for what I do, okay? And because of that, it still resonates in people's mind, that this guy is very good at what he does. I remember how long he been really taking care of his body and still is in shape. He's at a more mature age, but yet he's in great shape. I can look at him and see he's still well built. I can see he's still carrying six pack and all of that. Okay, so I'm saying all of that to say to you that I've been offering a different kind of training. So just as you go to the gym and train your body and help your cardiovascular system, I want to introduce you to your psychological system and introduce you also to your spiritual self. Now, let me say this. I remember quite vividly when I went to the owner of a gym that I was working with, and I said to him, I said, I didn't come tonight to work. I come to let you know that I'm gonna quit the job, and it has nothing to do with you. You've been very good to me and so on. I love what I was doing with you, but this is something that is quite personal to me, and do not try to understand it. I said to him, I said, I have a physical side of my existence and also a spiritual side. And for the longest while, I've been basically concentrating on the physical side. But this is time for me now to focus on the spiritual side. So that's why I'm going to quit the job. It has nothing to do with you, okay? And he couldn't understand. He tried to do all reason. He tried to do all of these things. And I could understand why, because all he knew from a boy growing up was walking. Okay, because if you have 100 conversations with him, 99.999% of the time, all he's talking about is life and the ship, because that's how his father taught him. Okay, from a very young age, his father, had him working on, bulk ship and so on since he was like 18 and so on. He says, okay, I don't want to say too much, but about this person and so on. But if someone from the island hear me speaking, they might say, well, I know this person because you may have had conversation with me also along that line too, okay? But he couldn't really understand it, and it did hurt him because, I was a very good trainer at his gym and so on. But it was time for me to move on. And so to cut a long story short, after I left there and I follow my intuition and I go towards my spiritual self, it would have enabled me to put a lot of books in writing and to have them published and so on. And they've been very much instrumental in my life and in the life of many people all around the world. Okay. And that is why I'm presenting myself to the people of my country as a mindset coach, because I've been doing it for a long time and helping people concerning the mind. For example, when many people in the island was gravitating towards what was called an education revolution, whereby they were to, chase after academic education and fail to realize that to be educated is to be able to get anything that you desire in this world, because the word education comes from the word educo, which is basically a Latin word, means to draw out from. You can only go within and draw out from your experiences and so on, okay? And so they were following that, while at the same time I was publishing my books. And one of the first books I would have written was called Meditate to Eradicate Poverty. So I was offering an imagination revolution while everybody was gravitating towards academic education, borrow a bunch of money from the bank, go overseas, whether it's Taiwan, Cuba, all of these different places, Venezuela, which nothing is wrong with those things, and don't get me wrong, people, if you listen to me. Okay, and then they have to come back and pay that loan, or they have to work with the governmental establishment for a certain amount of years and so on. But I'm saying that you're born in this world with a certain gift. You're born in this world with a certain purpose. Okay? And I was teaching people how to really activate that power that is within themselves. That's why there's a chapter in my book called Common Sense, which is basically teaching you how to use your God sense, which is basically you tapping into your creative and innovative self. Everything in this world, for example, I couldn't be bringing this message to you if there wasn't something like a cell phone, a video camera, and so on. Okay, but all of these things are the expression of a thought. Okay, they're all mental, they're all psychological. So both poverty and prosperity have to do with the mind. So me teaching you meditation, me teaching you mindful breathing, me teaching you how to be the policeman of your mind, me teaching you how thoughts work and so on, me teaching you the esoteric understanding of the Bible, the metaphysical understanding of the Bible, the psychological understanding of the Bible. All of these things are the different workouts that you'll be using in your mind gym. Okay, so I'm still in fitness, I'm still in the training business, but I'm doing it and both end, both the physical and the spiritual. Okay, that is what I'm really trying to say to you. And many, many years ago, I remember with tears in my eyes, I had a bodybuilding book in one hand and I had a Bible in one hand. Okay. And I don't want to go into this whole long, talking about all of that and so on. But everything I've been doing, it have both the physical and the spiritual to it. Okay, so you find me coming out with ideas and the physical side of things. Okay, where fitness is concerned, and you find me coming out with spiritual things of that same nature. Okay, so my brother, my sisters, if you want to fix your mind to fix your life, you can definitely reach out to me as a mindset coach, and I'll teach you and help you. I've had people all around the world who have helped. Okay, and it was just, you know, this week a young man met me in the financial company and was telling me how much my words and the things I told him to practice, or when he practiced them, how his life has really changed tremendously. And he's more prospering financially and so on, and socially and emotionally and so on. Okay, so my brothers and my sisters, when you really understand, money from an energetic standpoint, when you really understand yourself from a magnetic and energetic standpoint and so on, when you really understand how to align yourself with the sun, the sun and so on, you start to understand, how you're supposed to reflect nature. You realize nature has been for bountifully, right? And it's the sun. Your powers all of nature. And even the Bible says that the Lord thy God is a son, a sun. It's teaching you about the light body and so on, okay? So I can go on and on and on and on and on, but this is just a little introduction to my mind gym and saying to you, you could be a part of my mind gym. So don't just focus on building your physical body, okay? Focus on the psychological. Do not just focus on the physical, also focus on the non-physical, okay? So I want to thank you very much for listening to me. And if what I'm saying it resonates with you and you haven't subscribed already, I'm definitely encouraging you to subscribe, to like, to comment, to share this video. If you'd like to get my books, okay, they're all available on Amazon. You have about 10 or more books to choose from. I believe the link is down below in the description. Also, if you'd like to do a one-on-one with me, you can drop me an email. If you want to be a part of my Free Thinker and Seekers University to help in spiritual journey, I have some masterclass there that will help you too. But whatsoever that you desire, my last encouragement to you is to check out the link that's down below and definitely let your intuition lead you and guide you into what to do. So with that being said, I just want to say peace. Love you all. I'm out.